We can start.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and begin. The next slide, please.
Sure. Oops, sorry.
All right. I hope everybody can hear me. Please let me know anytime. If there's anything, please give us thumbs up. Or if there are any questions, raise your hand. Here's a quick outline of what we'll be doing. We'll be covering today. For the first hour, we'll start with a welcome and quick introducing myself and Shabnam and Igor. We'll take a few minutes to simplify the big picture. That is, what is AI, what AI models are, what AI agents are, and where does MindStudio fits into this whole. Then after that, we will jump into building 3 simple, practical AI agents. This will be the live session. Then we will wrap up the first hour with a Q&A segment, followed by a short break. I do want to present a quick note here. We have 2 dedicated Q&A slots. So we'll try to keep most questions for those sections. This way we can manage time smoothly. But if we don't get to your question during the session, we'll do our best to follow up afterwards. After the break, we'll start the second hour. We'll start with an overview of a more complex AI agent. This won't be built live, but we'll walk you through how it's done, or how it's working, explore the advanced workflow, and take a deep dive. Then we will highlight some powerful features inside MindStudio. And finally, we'll close with our last Q&A session, talk about next steps, resources, how can we stay connected, trainings, etc. So that's our plan for the day. Let's get started. Next slide, please. Igor, you want to go?
Yeah. Well, let's introduce ourselves. I'll go first. I'm 𝗿𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃, and my current role is UX designer. I have a software development background for maybe close to 2 decades, but currently I work on making sure that the digital pieces, digital software is easy to use. And my recent journey into AI was starting with, as everybody else starts with little pieces like ChatGPT, but eventually it morphed into me exploring the area of AI agents. And so I got into MindStudio bootcamp, and the rest is history.
Да, дети, жена же, ты ж пойми, да? То есть я за них переживаю.
Я понимаю, да.
Hi, Anna. Can we have you mute, please?
Yeah. Can everybody push on their mute button, please?
All right. Shabnam, are you able to mute, or Josh, are you able to mute all the participants?
Yeah, you can go press participants at the bottom of the screen, and you should be able to mute all or mute people selectively.
Totally, I can do. Oh, yeah, mute all.
Perfect.
Yes. And then I'll have to unmute
Ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I think you guys are okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. I can go next. Igor, if you're done with your introduction.
Yes, go
Hi,
ahead.
everyone. I'm Shabnam. I see a lot of familiar faces and names. Thank you for joining our session. I'm a technical product manager with a computer science engineering degree. I have 14 plus years of experience turning complex business needs into digital solutions and driving end-to-end with development teams. Currently, I'm working with the IT team of University of British Columbia in their automations and solution delivery team. I'm also an L3 certified AI agent builder and a mentor on MindStudio. where I guide teams, provide one-on-one sessions, and lead alumni collab with Igor and Atul here. Welcome to our first session together. Atul, please take away.
Yeah. Hi, everyone, again, one more time. This is 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃. I've been in IT world for about 20 years, experienced in both private and public sectors. I've been serving in public sector for the last almost 12 years now, working across a variety of systems, technology. I think the strength I bring in is an end-to-end deployment from inception to production ready and the life after. I think that's where, whether it's be a product, whether it be a process, re-engineering, solution, you name it. So that's where lately I've been focusing on. My AI journey started, you will hear a lot, like Igor mentioned, ChatGPT too. But over the last few months, I've gone much deeper into the AI ecosystem and built AI hands-on, experienced it, learned, and then continuing to build and gain confidence along the way, along the journey. Today, I'm a level 3 certified AI developer through MindStudio. I'm also a mentor to newcomers and support the MindStudio alumni community. So with that, I'll hand it over to you, Igor, for the next segment.
Okay, thank you. So let's just set the stage before we proceed and talk about the relationship between the AI, all those models, and the agents. Next slide, please. Okay, so to give a brief overview, AI is a broad field, but as many of us know, models are basically like an engine, a brain. They have different capabilities. Some of them can do more than one thing. And so they generate text, multimedia, they answer questions, to do things based on what you ask them to do. Some of them have different focuses and some of them are generic. And so the AI agents, now they are the entities that perform certain actions. They use the models. Now they have workflows inside them, but they also can talk to different outside tools. They make decisions, and based on instructions, they decide on what to do to produce a satisfactory outcome. So now the MindStudio comes into the picture. The MindStudio is a visual no-code environment. That's what it is, a studio. And so the MindStudio is the thing that allows you to create the agents. MindStudio is platform, the model independent, model agnostic. You don't have to use one model. You can interchange 200 plus models within MindStudio if you think that a certain step requires a particular model or another model. So you can build your workflows using drag and drop, and anybody from a beginner to an expert can utilize MindStudio to their particular goals. Next slide, please. And so overall, how does this all fit into the big picture? How do these pieces relate? Okay, we just talked about the AI, and that the models are pretty much use AI. They're built with AI. So these models now can be used from within MindStudio. If you look at the MindStudio rectangle, it's like pretty much a platform that allows you to create those agents. And if you create an agent, then within that agent, you can specify, like I mentioned, that a specific step can be using Claude, but another step can use ChatGPT and so forth. And when we connect these, what we call our blocks within the agent, we call this a workflow, end-to-end workflow to be able to produce the necessary output. Next slide, please. Now I'm going to give the floor back to Shabnam, who will lead us
Thank you,
on to the
Igor.
next part.
Thank you, Igor. Today what we're going to do is we will be building 3 live agents. where you all can do hands-on with me or along with us. Actually, we three of us will be showing three different agents, or simply sit back and watch the steps. So we'll be showcasing the builds on this tool called MindStudio. MindStudio is just an application which is a no-code AI native platform, like Igor had mentioned. Remember that this is just one tool, and try to understand the basics of how to build a workflow, because there are many tools like MindStudio that does the same thing. Why we choose MindStudio is that you can build powerful AI agents, workflows, and automations without needing the engineering experience. And I don't know if you all caught it, Igor also mentioned that they are LLM agnostic. So I really like the UI and the UX of MindStudio, and the simplicity, how anyone can just learn how to build agents. Some of the classic use cases that we can build agents on MindStudio are like building customer support agents, document processing or summarization tools, building RAG like knowledge retrieval bots, or end-to-end business goals. You name the use case and you can build it. It's just a matter of fact of experimenting and figuring things out. Okay, so let's get into the first agent. This is the first agent that I will be showing you how to build. Just looking through my notes. This agent will be invoked by something called browser extension. I will explain a little more about browser extension in just a minute, but before that, let's just go through what this agent can do. Okay, so this agent can be invoked by pushing of a button on the browser extension. I will be opening up a web page, mainly a blog. And then when I click on this button, it actually extracts the quick facts. This is one of the most simplest build. So this is the process flow. We start with a start block. And there is within the start block, I set a setting saying that this is a browser extension. When I do that, the block will know to read all the content from the page and pass it to the LLM to extract all the facts. And then finally, it returns to the user. Okay, so this is the flow. Okay, now let's look into MindStudio. So I'm going to do this. Oh, I can't. Just a second. Okay, so here, I hope some of you, if you have installed MindStudio, you can go to app.mindstudio.ai. I mean, not install, sorry. If you have already previously registered, then you can just go to app.mindstudio.ai and you can go through the registration. Or if you have already registered, this is the page that you will land on. Here there is something called click on Chrome extension. You can click on this link to install the MindStudio Chrome extension. Do install it if you want to follow along. So once you install the Chrome extension, what you will see is this floating MindStudio icon. So this is the Chrome extension that we're going to get. Okay. So now let's get back. So let's start building. So here, the first. Okay, I'm going to click on create new agent. So this is the first page that you will be taken into. This is what the IDE looks like. As you can see, the left-hand side is the Explorer, the errors, and the debugger. The Explorer is where you can see all your files. And the center of the screen is where your main workflow is. So main.flow is my first, the main workflow. And on my right, I have overview and quick help. This is where you can see, if you click on any of the block, you can see the configurations, what you need to set, and the quick help associated to that block. So example on the start block, if I click on quick help, you can see all the documentation, documentation related to that block. So like I said, let's go to the start block. Now this start block has, we can trigger any agent through multiple modes. By default, it is set to on demand. On demand means I have to explicitly call the agent to run the agent. I can either set it to even schedule. That means on a schedule, let's say 8 a.m. in the morning, it keeps running. The agent is called and it's running on a schedule till I want it. This is the extension, browser extension is the option I'm going to use now. We will understand it better once I actually create it. Email is when I want to trigger an agent via sending an email. Classic example of that is summarizing a long thread of email can be invoked by setting the agent on email mode. Webhook, again, this is a little complex for beginners, but if you are from a tech background, this would be a straightforward thing to understand. It just means that the agent can be triggered through HTTP request. And lastly, if you want your agent to be packaged into a block like this, you can create your own blocks, and that's called packaged workflow. Okay, so let's get started. So here there is a start block and end block for every new agent that you create. Now click on this, click on this plus icon, and here the first one that comes is generate text. So this is what Igor was telling you, that we can build the workflow in set of blocks. So each of these block will have a LLM associated to it. By default, for me, it came as Claude Sonnet. Here you can see the number of various other LLMs that is available. For now, there are like 98 models. You can choose what you want. So I'm going to leave it as Claude Sonnet itself. And it is here where I put the prompt. Just like ChatGPT, you have your prompt. Similarly, you can just enter your prompt here. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go back to the start block and I'm going to set as browser extension. Now in browser extension, you can see there are some launch variables predefined. That means that every page that I can see on the browser, the agent will also be able to see. And these are some standard variables that come along. That is like the raw HTML, meaning how the page is rendered, the page content, metadata, the URL, user selection, etc. So for now, I'm going to use this variable to extract the quick facts from that content. So I'm going to click generate, and I'm going to type content, page content. I'm passing this variable from the previous block and closing it. Extract quick facts from content. And I'm also going to say use markdown formatting. Okay, this is just to get a formatted output. Okay, next I'll be clicking publish. Remember to save every time. So once it's published, it shows like this. And before I move to OpenAI agent, I also want to show you what the end block has. End block has two behaviors, namely one is the end session, the other one is to have a chat mode. We'll see both the differences. For now, I'm going to leave it as end session. Next, I'm going to open my published agent. On this screen, I have 3 dots here. I want to invoke on my browser extension. So I'm going to first pin it to my extension. So I'll just click pin in extension. So when I do that, it will be available in all my browser extension. So example is, this is a blog page which I quite often read, The Verge. This is a tech blog. So sometimes I really don't have the time to read through all of it and try to process it. So I use agents like this to process the content. So when I click on this top chevron, I have a quick facts extractor agent. So I'm going to simply click on this, and that's when my agent will be called. So those who want to see how fast I got the agent to give me all the quick facts about this content here. Those who have MindStudio agent browser extension installed, you can also try another example would be, because you don't have your agents built yet, you can simply click here and search for TLDR and just run this agent. So this is your first agent. These are like predefined ones. You can use the same thing to give a similar output. It basically generates TLDR summary. So what I showed you right now is an example of how to run this agent. So if I run this, you get a similar output. But this is TLDR, but the one which I showed you was the one which I made. Amazing. Now let me go back to the agent build here. Go to edit agent. So when I go back, remember in the end session, I showed there are two options. One, now I'm going to make it to a chat session. So here the output will be in a format where I can chat and ask questions. So I'm going to save this and hit on publish again. And all I have to do is go back to that agent and run it again. Let me do a quick refresh. So this agent runs. Here it is generating the quick facts, and it's telling me about the team overview. There is a dedicated team that investigates and publish inconvenient truths about AI in general within Anthropic. That's interesting. I'm going to ask a question about that. And now you all can see there is a next button called Next. When I click on Next, there is a chat that appears. I'm going to say, tell me more about this. So this is like a live chat that I'll have right away that I can ask more questions or ask the LLM that is Claude 4.5 Sonnet to answer my questions more and give me a more thorough overview of what the blog is. Cool? Okay, I hope you all were able to follow along and build this along. Let me go back to the slides. Was anybody asking a question?
I think we're okay.
Okay, perfect. Now, okay, now I'm going to pass the baton to Atul to take you through Jargon Buster.
Sweet. Shabnam, thank you for that agent one. And you know what? It may sound silly, but I'm going to try that chat option because I do the same thing of like following up on quick summary of different articles, but I think I'm excited to do that chat part to keep it interactive, right? So thanks for that. Yeah. The AI agent I'm going to build is called Jargon Buster. This agent makes online content easier to understand in terms of it finds those jargons, acronyms, confusing language or complex language, and gives a clear, simple, meaningful interpretation right in your browser, right? So you can use it on web pages, web articles, online PDFs, and also YouTube videos. So that's what the Jargon Buster is about in short. Next slide, please. And just this is same, the process flow. Quickly looking at the process of this agent. We have that same, what Shabnam just a few minutes ago showed the whole thing, just talking through that one more time. We have the start block. We are telling the agent in this block that, hey, I want you to run in this and this mode, right? So the mode that we are going to use is a browser extension. And then we're going to tell the agent what it must do, right? When reading source. So this is where our prompting comes into play. The prompt that we feed in, that's what the agent is going to do. And then the agent detects complex jargons from the source. And then at the end, it gives a clear, plain English explanation. So that's the whole flow, quick and straightforward. I'm going to take over the screen sharing and then create the AI agent in front of you. All right. Give me a thumbs up. Where are we here? Okay, sweet. You're able to see my screen. There's nothing there right now.
Yes.
Or maybe just a background. Nice background by that. Okay. Before that, I just want to take a minute here. I'm just going to launch my Chrome browser while I talk through this. Okay. So when it comes to building AI agent, as I like to tell myself, it's a two-step process, right? The first step is we are creating this agent, and we are telling the agent that, hey, this is how I want you to be. This is what I want you to do, right? So that's the build and creation part of it. And then the second step is, hey, go run it, and I want to see the results. I like the results. I want to tweak it, and then repeat and rinse. So I try to remind myself of building agent, running agent combined together is what we're going to take a look at. Let's see. Can I minimize this? Yep, perfect. Okay. Keep me honest on the chat or anything else. If you lose me or you're not able to hear it, please let me know. I'm completely blind and just looking at my screen now. So I'm starting in a Chrome browser because our AI agent runs as a browser extension, and MindStudio's browser extension component works on Google Chrome. So that's what it is. I've got our MindStudio homepage. I'm logged in. The top left is my personal space. I've got my drafts, what's live and published, and then just a little bit about my workspace. So that's where we are. I'm going to go into my drafts. I like to start my new agents with a draft, though you can go into any of these tabs and do the same thing. Here's our new agent. The welcome screen, this is an amazing addition by the MindStudio team, kind of gives all the different resources depending on at what stage you are in your development. You can always piggyback on these without going into much details of that. Main flow is the main page where we kind of design, build, tell the agent what it must do. So our start block is right there, completely interactive, drag and drop. You can do whatever you want. This is where the development environment is, however you want to play around with it. So the start and end block are always going to be there by default when you're creating an agent in MindStudio. So your start block, like Shubnam gave a good overview, for the purpose of Jargon Buster, it's a browser extension. I'm going to tell, hey, agent, I want you to run as a browser extension. As you can see, there are some preset launch variables within MindStudio that came up there. And the preset that we are more interested in is the page content. If you're following, you're more than welcome to copy this. It's case sensitive too when you're typing in, so just be sure. So this is what I'm right now telling the agent that, hey, this is how I want you to start. When it comes to what I want you to do, this is where we are going to add. In the world of MindStudio, we call all these different blocks. They're like a good 128 connectors and 125 blocks and counting. So once again, for our purpose, we're going to say generate text. This is a block. And then In this block, I'm going to tell once the agent starts what it should do for me, right? And that's where the prompt comes into picture. So I'm going to tell the agent, here's my prompt. I'm just going to quickly copy paste from my screen. Let's go file. Okay, perfect. And then there we go. That's my prompt. So I'm just telling it, hey, you are a jargon buster agent. Please read the following text and detect all jargons or acronyms and technical expressions that may confuse the first timer or somebody who's beginner, right? And then for each of those complex texts, please provide a clear, simple one-sentence explanation, like something for beginner. And then I'm also telling it further that I want you to structure it this way, right? So once I have my prompt, I do want to emphasize on following text, right? So how does the agent know what following text, right? That's where our variable comes into picture. Once again, in the start, the page content variable, that's our launch variable. So by adding that variable, the agent is able to read contents of that particular source, whether it be a website, article, PDF, YouTube, whatnot. So I'm just going to go and add that. And it's pretty straightforward. You do curly brackets, a pre-populated list of all the variables will show up from the system, from the platform itself. I'm interested in page content. I can go and select it. I can type it, and I'm done there. And so once I have done my variable page content, I'm telling what my agent should do. I'm going to just further look into a little bit more here. I don't need to play around with any of the settings. The use case is very simple. And then in the model settings, so by default, the AI model, the LLM model that's coming here is a Claude. And why don't we change this, right? Because the previous one we ran on that. So let's try something different here. What should we go with? Google, Gemini, let's say Jargon Buster, right? Let's try Flash or with more reasoning. Let's do that. I'm going to use 2.0. 2.5 Pro. I'm going to leave rest of the settings as is. We're not going to dive into those. So here I'm telling my agent, okay, after you launch, you run, here is what I want you to go and do. These are the instructions. These are your boundaries. And then this is how I want you to end behavior end session. So now I have my two-step for my agent done. And now for first step for my agent done, now I'm going to just go and publish this. Before publishing, I do want to go back and show you a little bit of a off-ramp here a little bit. And just on the top, if you look, there is Untitled AI Agent. And if I click on that field, it's going to take me to this screen. This is pretty much anything and everything about that agent, right? It gives you tons of, like at least a dozen plus different tabs and options, how you want that agent to be either configured or shared and restrictions or so many other things, right? For me, I just want to show you, I want to give it a name in front of you. So I'm going to just give this a name, Jargon Buster. Probably I'm on a version 1.3. There's a short description option. I'm going to leave it empty. I'll tell you later why. But you're more than welcome to give a description you want of your choice, as well as the agent icon and some other custom options here that you can fancy to your liking. I'm going to leave it as is. There's no save button or anything. It saves behind the scene automatically in MindStudio. So I've done that. Now I'm going to go and publish this. And once I publish, in a few minutes, I will see I have this option here that says, hey, your agent is published, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to open this agent because I want to open this as a browser extension. So I'm just going to dismiss this. I'm going to go click on this tiny little thing here, hit the back button. I'm back onto my workspace. And then created by me, here is our version, Jargon Buster version 1.3. As you can see, the description, I've left it blank, including the icon. And MindStudio platform intelligently looks at what it's doing, and it gives a predefined information. So it's done that here. So I have this version 1.3. It's published. Publishing is pretty much you're making it live, available in production to use or to share or whatnot. So that's what I have right now. So that's my first piece. Now I want to go and run it. So I'm going to launch another tab here, same in Chrome browser. I'm going to take some resources, digital resources that could be heavy on technical aspect of things. So in this example, I want to show you something about quantum computing and AI. It's something that I'm trying to learn or educate myself. I'm not even infancy stage right now, but something that I like. So anyways, here's an HTML page about what quantum computing and AI, what that future looks like. I think this research is probably 6 months or so old this year. Looks like an exhaustive list of information here. I'm sure with the quantum world, jargons are crazy, complexities of understanding is assumed. So I'm going to now go and look at our Jargon Buster version 1.3. The way I'm showing you another version of it, here is my Chrome extension. I'm just going to click on that. It opens up this view of MindStudio. This is nothing but a more mobile view of it. I'm going to go click on that. This is my workspace created by me. Version 1.3 is what we published just now. And I'm just going to select and hit run. And it will take some time because we changed the LLM model, and I've compared Claude, which is faster, given the information, compared to Gemini, but not necessarily fast as everything. It's taking some time, and we should have some information soon. Now will be a good time. Maybe I should have just used Claude for this example. Oh, okay, perfect. So as you can see, it's going through the information. It's still processing it. It's taking a while. It could be the model that I use, but basically the idea is that it's going to start taking all the jargons, all the complexities, and start giving you into a format that we prompted for in a simple English for us to understand. So that is for the website. This is on a web article. The same thing can be done. Before that, you know what? Let me change my model here real quick. And this is what I'm doing now is changing the model. Let's see if it can be fast. All right, use. Seems like that's a faster one. Okay. And I just going through a change of model, LLM model, and I'm going to republish it. Dismiss. I'm going to go here. So this was a website. The same thing we can do with a PDF if we want. But instead, let me see if I can show you a quicker version. So the PDF would be the same thing. You launch your PDF. You can run through your Jargon Buster version 1.3 AI agent, and it's going to do its trick and give you all the information. Let's look at how it does with a YouTube video. And so I'm just going to see if this launches up. This is a quantum machine learning 1 hour long video. I want to understand kind of like, as I keep up with this video, there are a lot of assumptions that we know this, we know that, what it means, what it does. So I'm going to go to my MindStudio extension, the one that I created, JB1.3. I'm going to run. We changed the LLM model. Let's see live how responsive or fast this version is. There, much, much faster. Once more, because it's fast doesn't mean it's the best, because there are a lot of things that the Gemini 2.5 will give us. So yeah, here are all the jargons. There's a good example. As I'm watching this or I'm hearing it, I want to know more about it. What are this? What is that? Parameterized encoding or amplitude encoding, whatnot. It gives me a good idea about what it means as they talk about it. So there we have it, folks. I mean, I just want to share this real quick. Let's see, where are we on our agenda? I'm going to stop the sharing here and pass it on to Igor.
Me, yeah. Thank you, Atul. Very nice presentation. So I'm finishing up this first hour with the agent number 3. Now, both Shabnam and Atul gave you a great introduction into how to create them, what they are. So I'm not going to repeat. If you have questions, please do ask us if you want to follow up. But I'm going to actually introduce you to the next agent. Let me see if I can. Can you let's see if I can share my slides. Actually,
Do you want me
uh,
to share it?
if you could please share it right now, and then I will switch to myself. Yes.
Oh. Uh, can you all see
Okay.
my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
So, what is this one about? This is YouTube recipe extractor. Let's say imagine you are looking at the cooking video that you found on YouTube, and you really like it. And maybe you haven't watched all of it, or maybe you have, depending. But maybe it's long. And you really want to be able to get the list of ingredients, cooking steps, and cooking time and services. Sometimes people provide these kind of things in the comments, but then what if you're really, really short in time? And moreover, the case could be that you would like to send this to yourself in an email or something like this. Now, I'm going to demonstrate to you a simple case here, but you can imagine where it can go, what kind of possibilities it can be. And so what this agent will do is that, yes, it's also invoked from a browser extension. And you navigate to YouTube video, you invoke that agent, and it actually extracts that information for you. How does this agent work? Next screen, please. It's a simple agent. Again, we're demonstrating a simple use case. But again, it has a start and an end, and it needs to process video, and it needs to show results. As simple as that. But I will show you how powerful it is, even though it's simple. So let me show you my screen and live build it in front of you. Okay. Can you give me the sharing permissions, please?
Oh, you don't have share permission?
The host, whoever is the host right now, needs to
Yeah.
give me sharing permissions.
Do you have it now?
Yep, thank you. Okay, let me know if you see this.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so the video I chose is Gordon Ramsay doing the turkey roast turkey, and it's about what? It's about
the Christmas day.
10 minutes. Okay, and so I'm gonna open the MindStudio and build it in front of you. New agent. We go to main flow, but let me first name this agent. Let's say it's called YouTube. Press it, YouTube. extractor. Okay, for now, we don't need to do much. Okay, again, familiar start and end blocks. And again, I'm going to invoke something here. Let's say we need to set this agent to the one to be invoked from browser extension. After you do this, again, you have access to all those variables like URL, metadata, page content, and so forth. I'm going to add the generate text block. Let's rename it into something like YouTube analysis, YouTube video analysis. Okay. And I want to display this to the user. I don't want to do anything, just display the information. And I want to display it as a text. So we're not going to change anything here. And let's type it. So first of all, we need to see what kind of information are we giving to this agent to process. What we need metadata, and I'll tell you why. That metadata variable that gets available to us through the browser extension. And also, we need page content. So in this case, page content, as you might have guessed, is the actual transcript of the YouTube video. And then we need to tell it, these are the directions. YouTube recipe video analysis. Let me zoom in so you can see it better. Okay, so this is where we're starting the directions of what to do. Now, how do we separate the directions from the variables so that there's a clean way to separate those and to tell the engine, don't mix the directions with the actual variables? So we use this bracket notation, the markdown notation, and say we can name it anything. Let's say input. Okay, and we close this with a closing bracket. And so the engine says, oh, okay, I know where the variables are. I'm not going to intermix them with the directions. Let's write the directions here together. We can say something like analyze the provided YouTube video transcript that shows how to cook a dish. Okay, simple as that. You can give it a different direction, but in this case, this one will suffice. So then what we need to say additionally, extract. What are we extracting? Ingredients with quantities. What else? Step by step cooking instructions. And cooking time and servings. Okay. And I want to be able to include the original URL so that people can actually click on it, the original YouTube URL. I might say something like this. Include the original URL at the beginning of the response. Okay, these are the directions how to do things and what to do things, but how do you display them? Here's how we can say, use this output format. And again, you may have guessed, how do I delineate between the directions and the format? Brackets. You can say example output and then close it. Example output. And so what are we putting here? Hashtag, that means the heading, the biggest heading. Basically, this is a markdown language understood by many or almost all of the LLMs, is how to display basic formatting. So one hashtag is just the main heading, the H1. We can just say metadata, and metadata has property called title. That's the title of the video. Then, let's say we want to put something underneath that has a URL, and we decide to make it a much smaller heading. 6, maybe, heading 6. So the number of hashes indicates how many steps down in the font size of the heading. And we can just say URL is URL. How do we know that? Because we have access to that URL. We have access to that URL here from the variables. Okay, so now let's close this. Let's go back. Now we want it for it to be clickable. So what's the markdown syntax for it to be clickable? And here's the syntax: square bracket, then curly braces, variable, ending square bracket, followed by parentheses and variable. So it tells you, basically, tells the engine, make this into the hyperlink and make it clickable. Okay, quickly proceeding. Let's say heading number 2, a smaller heading. We can just say, oh, what's the caption? Cooking time and servings. Okay, now, am I going to display all the directions for cooking time and servings? No, because I don't know what the cooking time and servings would be, depending on the video. And so here's a neat trick that we can use. We can tell the engine, display that to the best of your abilities, ... This is what it understands. Next, ingredients. Okay, let's give it a kind of a pattern. Ingredient 1, again, generic instruction. Ingredient 2, and I'm gonna write, I'm not gonna write all the ingredients because I don't know what the ingredients are. And you may have guessed, ... Follow the same pattern. Next. What else is left? Of course, instructions. Let's write the instruction heading. And again, I don't know what the instruction will be because it depends on the video. Let's follow the same pattern. We're telling it, display that information to the best of your ability. So what's left? You know, sometimes when you put things like in the ChatGPT or something like this, it responds like, here's your instructions. Well, we don't want that. We don't want that additional information. We just want the specific output that we specified. And you give it basically directions to say something like respond only with the formatted recipe and no other additional information like, and you just say, here is your recipe. We don't want that. And sometimes I notice that it puts extra characters at the beginning. So I could just say, do not include any other characters before the main title, such as, and what I notice, it sometimes does something like this, and then I say title. Bracket title means whatever precedes the title, don't include that. Don't put that. Okay, so we're done with this. What do we need to do at this point? We need to publish it. Okay, we need to publish it. Okay, now, what do we need to do now to quickly find this in our list of browser extensions? I need to go back and let me refresh this page. There we go, YouTube recipe extractor. I just want to star it so I can quickly find it on my extension list. Now, let's go back to the video and open the MindStudio extension. And there we go. Let me see. Let me maybe refresh this. Ah, there we go. It's hidden. YouTube recipe extractor. Let's execute this. It's executing, it's extracting information. And let's see how it actually understood the directions. Voila. So it created the caption, like in the main title, put the URL underneath. And notice we didn't give it specific instructions, only general. And it understood that there are different categories of ingredients and then different categories of instructions based on what you're preparing. Simple as that. So just like with the previous agents, small instructions can produce powerful output. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, put those in the chat.
Well, this is a perfect segue because our next item on the list is about Q&As.
Perfect. Let me share my screen.
Igor, thank you so much. I'm hungry now looking at that.
Me too, yeah.
Okay. I think we should get into a short break as well. Feel free to take a bio break, and those who have questions, this is your time to ask questions. Unmute yourself, and we are here to answer your questions if there's any. Please note that be back by 1:05, and we'll be resuming. I'll be showing you an advanced agent. Okay, anybody has any questions? Want to share any feedback? How are you doing so far? Did we overwhelm you guys too much? Let me stop sharing.
I think I love that we have a lot of familiar faces from our journey during our own learnings through MindStudio. So that definitely is like cherry on the top. And then we have new faces too, new folks coming in, and hopefully, each other, different versions of folks here can help each other grow and learn more. I did scan through the questions. Looks like, Shabnam, you've got pretty much, you're quite active with replying to them. Looks like a majority of them have been addressed, but this is the open session for Q&A or anything that may be in your list to ask. Please feel free. We're here.
Yeah, I can add one question. Tiffany is asking, how do I have only start one block and end for the recipe extractor? So I'm going to take a stab at this. Igor and Atul, please add on. Tiffany, you can have as many blocks as you want. In the next example, you will see a little more complex agent. We didn't want to overwhelm the beginners on the session. That's why we were showing single block agents. But you can add multiple workflows, multiple blocks, you name it. You can go crazy with it.
Yeah.
I can see that, Prasanna, you had a question. You raised your hand.
Sorry, Igor. I accidentally clicked it. Sorry about that.
Okay. No worries, Prasanna. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
And I see another question. Can the extension be used on mobile devices if you're on TikTok and want to extract the recipe? I forgot to mention, these browser extension works only on Chrome, and MindStudio does not work on mobile. Good catch, Christina.
Right. Yeah.
This was something that we missed to mention.
Yeah. We were going to call out.
Next one, is it better to use prompt sandbox for writing the code? Does the white space matter? Atul or Igor want to answer? Or should I go for it?
Go ahead, because I was looking at other questions.
Okay, I can go for this one.
I'm still navigating through. Which one is this?
Tal has asked. Let me know if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Sal, so you can use LLM is smart, so white space doesn't really matter. LLM is very, very intelligent, just like ChatGPT. When you type, if you have typos or if you have extra spaces, it is pretty good to understand what you're trying to ask. So it doesn't matter. But there are other things that you can make LLM response better by following certain formatting standards and syntaxes. One such example is XML formatting. You can do markdown. Igor's prompt had a lot of markdown formatting. If you see how he had clear definition of recipe title, the role, and all of that, that is also another best practice. We will be touching on all of that in advanced classes. For now, if you want, let us know. We can send you material and you can go over them.
Yeah, I can see the question here. Another one. Can we leverage this for image processing? Yes, not only processing. You can include images in your prompts and analyze images and then stitch images, or you can actually produce images based on the prompt, just like you would go to, let's say, Nana Banana. But this one has a workflow. You can actually combine different steps together to maybe produce certain output based on number of images you upload. And you can actually produce a video as your output based on the images.
Thank you, Igor. Would that YouTube agent work for videos in a different language, or do we have to add another module for that? Hamid has asked. Is it for which agent? Hamid, you want to unmute and make
I think the Jargon Buster, is that what you're saying?
Also, this one's for the YouTube, the recipe extractor. Let's say if it's the videos in different languages.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm sure you can actually let it process the language. I think basically, just like with everything like ChatGPT or Claude, you can specify specific instructions. And what MindStudio also has, it has access to RAG. So if you have a specific things that you want to be able to use from your RAG, from additional information on how to read that language, how to understand certain grammar rules. Yes, you can basically, like, if you can create a custom chat GPT, and if you want to read the language, but you not really want to give the model ability to interpret loosely, you want to be able to do something concrete, you can upload additional documents into the agent and aid it in understanding the language, because I understand there's certain dialects and certain thing like this. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think as long as that video has the transcript available, I think that further helps in whatever language.
Right.
I think we should be mindful of our time and get back because it's already 1:06.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah. We'll keep. Yeah.
Sal, there is one more question that you've asked. Is there a workflow agent to read documents and make decisions in healthcare? Yes, AI agents can do what you want it to do. That's the quick answer. But again, there is going to be complexities around it. So I'm going to stop with that and continue back with the screen share. Okay. All right. I know many of you are, if you are completely new, don't be overwhelmed that AI is going so far and you haven't taken your first step. You have attended this session. That itself is a big thing. So congrats to those who have showed up and stayed tuned for this long. Let's continue. Oops. Okay, I'm going to show an example of an advanced agent. So in this agent, it's unlike the 3 agents that we showed before. We will be using core concepts like sub-workflows. What I mean by sub-workflow is one workflow calling another workflow multiple times. Or that is an example. Another core concept that we'll be covering in this agent is interacting with third-party applications. Like my agent will be updating a Google Sheet and it will be calling another third-party block called hunter.io. Without further ado, let's look what that agent is. It's called Enrich Contacts from LinkedIn. Again, this is an example of browser extension. Now you all are very familiar with what browser extension is. There is a button that I can click and it is going to extract all the LinkedIn contacts that I have, and it's going to extract and put it into a Google Sheet. I used this agent a lot when I was job hunting like 7 months back, and this was a lifesaver for me. I used it to extract and find their emails and send personalized messages to create a connection or meet up for a coffee meet and things like that. Okay. So this is what it does. Like I've put in the text, agent will extract information from the page, and for each person, the agent will go find an email and update a Google Sheet for me. So this is the process flow. Again, reiterating so that it settles down and you all understand step by step. There is a start block. There is an agent which is going to extract, basically do a web page scrape and extract the people on that page. And the domain here, what I mean is the company information. for each person and the domain, the company name, it's gonna, there is a third-party application called Hunter. Hunter will find the email and then it will update my Google Sheet tracker. In the end, it generates a summary and that's it. Let's look at what that agent looks like. Here it is. Can you all see my screen? Y'all can see my screen.
Yeah,
okay,
we
thank
can.
you. Thank you, Atul. Okay, so here we start with, before I show, get into the bricks and bones of this agent, let's see a live of this agent, okay? So this is my Excel sheet. I have some contacts here. As you can see, this is extracted from the agent. I'm going to add, for the sake of demo, I'm going to clear this and I'm going to create a new fresh set of data. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for all the technical product managers that I want to connect with. And I click on people. And now here, this is my LinkedIn extractor agent. So I click on this LinkedIn extractor. It's going to pull up all the people that are listed on this sheet and put it into a Google sheet for me. As you all can notice, most of them are not even my connections. And LinkedIn does not give personalized email. So this agent actually helped me for my job hunting, like I mentioned earlier. I click on the agent, LinkedIn contact enricher, and you can see the flow that is happening. So first it's going to generate the text. It is going to run a workflow. Run workflow means it's going to call a sub workflow, which is basically going in for each person, find the email. And then it updates a Google Sheet, the one which I showed earlier, and then it generates a summary for me. So while this is happening, I'm going to jump into the, we will see the result in a while, but let's look at what the agent does, okay? So again, in the start block, we are reiterating again and again, this is a browser extension, but you can set it to other mode like on demand or schedule or email or set as a webhook or even as a package workflow. But for now, I'm going to leave it as browser extension. This is my generate text. So if I do an full screen of that, this is a very simple example of a prompt. Some of you had asked a question, what is the difference between when I used content and /content? It is just telling the LLM that this is the start of the content and this is the end of the content. And what comes in between is going to be the raw HTML. So if you see the raw HTML of this page is nothing but, let me show. So it's pretty much all of this content and it's a lot of text, right? So we are just telling the LLM, this is the instruction, this is the content that you need to process. Great. So in the meantime, I actually got the data generated as well. And you can see I have asked to format into a table and with spacing and all of that. So these are the values that are extracted. See, there's Sahil Sharma, Vanya, Buddhiman, all of these people. Now let's look at my sheet. So this is my sheet here. Some of them we can get email directly, but there are some companies which kind of block, but that's okay. That's the limitation, right? For whichever I got, these are the valid emails that I would be sending a personalized message to them, asking if there are any roles, or maybe can you walk me through the day of what technical product manager in that company would be doing, and so forth. So similarly, you can use for any other use case. So let's go back to my prompt. Okay, so let me start from the beginning for the sake of flow. So there's a start block, which is set as browser extension. Second, this is my prompt. So here in my prompt, I'm saying extract the raw HTML. And the task is to extract all the people, return their first name, last name, a couple of sentences from description, and domain is where the person, where that person might have an email address. Most of the time it's a company. The job title, company name, and their LinkedIn profile. I'm also mentioning that this is my LinkedIn page, so don't extract my information and do not include in the list. Also, do not include any other parameters. This is needed to get proper data because LinkedIn has so many other things in the URL. Only include the people in the main content from the people search list, and do not include people that are in other areas of the page. Sometimes it has on the side and things like that. So very simple prompt. Okay. Now going back to the main flow, this is the run workflow, what I was telling you all about. So run workflow basically tells, this is my main agent. This is the my main agent. And here, this is my sub workflow, sub enrich workflow. That is here. You can see I have two workflows here. And this is a sub agent workflow. And then I'm also mentioning run multiple times. I don't want it to be run once. I want it to be run for every person that is extracted in the first generate text block. And that's it. And when we go to, this is where it jumps to the sub workflow. Here, again, to start with every person that is fetched in the first list, it will find emails. And from the email, that is I'm passing, this is the Hunter block I was talking about. Hunter is a third-party application that is here, which is basically used for email outreach platform. Now, do you see the plus point here? I don't have any account with Hunter, but with MindStudio, I'm able to leverage this tool by calling it in a block. So that is another beauty of MindStudio. You have n number of blocks like this and n number of connectors like this. So to show a quick example, here when I click on new block or view all blocks example, you can see the different third-party applications MindStudio can connect to. There is ActiveCampaign, Airtable, Apollo. There are like 860 connections. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, Calendly for all your calendar events. If you want Canva, this is something that I requested. 11 Labs for video generation, edit, and all of that. And there are so many. You name it and it's there. In case if it is not there, you can even request a new connector to the MindStudio team and they will add it in a day or two. They are very quick. There's an active development team and there's a very active community behind this. I will be talking over the blocks a little more later, but for now, let's continue on the workflow. Here, similarly, we have a update Google Sheet is another block that I have used. What I'm saying is connect to my account. This is my Google Sheet and this is the Google Sheet name, and always add to the bottom. And I want these values to be filled. I'm saying the first name, last name, email, that is from Hunter, job title, company, domain, about, and the LinkedIn. And finally, in the end block, I pass this information, what I've collected, back to the main workflow, that it comes here. From the main workflow, I have another generate text block. All I'm saying is create a summary. With all the data that you have got, convert this into a table, markdown table, so that it's formatted and it's readable, and respond only with that format. Don't return me any other text. Simple. So this is where it is, and this is the output that I got. Let me go back to my slide. And I'm quickly going to take a note of my notes to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay, so this is a example of a slightly more complex agent. Now I want to show you all another agent that is ready to use, and that's called Deep Research Agent. I want you all to see how complex an agent itself can get. Okay, here I'm going to click on make a copy, and do you see the workflow here itself? This is just the main workflow. There is deeper workflows attached to it. So if you can see here, this is the main flow. This is the main flow. And then it goes under each and every definition of sub workflows. This is the best part about MindStudio. Again, you are dividing a big workflow into mini workflows or smaller workflows. So the idea of our session over here also is to get you all to understand how can you break your task into simpler steps. That goes with every tool, be it N8N, be it Lindy, or be it MindStudio. If you are not able to understand how you can think in block structure, use LLM to help you to break it down into tasks and blocks. That is another way of doing it. But at the whole idea is if you grasp this part, then everything else becomes easy. It's irrespective of which tool you're using. So I want to show the output of what a deep research agent would look like as well. Let me see if I run. Yeah, this is an example. See more. Let me show you how extensive this report is. So every time anyone can run a deep research agent, using just the agents, they are able to generate such a formatted HTML content with all of this, right? Especially even a podcast or a audio podcast that's right here. And then you have an overview. Look at the detailing that it goes to. This is all by agents. So don't limit your thoughts as to thinking that only one agent does, one block does this, one block does that. You can create as complex as you want. So the agent in this case is generating image, is breaking down this entire research idea into various context, subcontext, titles, subcategories. Yeah, this is the power of MindStudio in short. I really like this tool for its simplicity and the power where a simple user who has no background in engineering or any other kind of development can use it. At the same time, somebody who is from a dev team can easily use it. It also even creates links and all of this. So this is what I wanted to show next. Okay, so as part of our registration form, we had asked quick questions as to, is there any use cases that you want to see? So some of them were scraping. I think we covered in this session. There was data extraction, marketing automation, lead generation, orchestration, and personal productivity that we have covered in these sessions. I hope you were able to follow along. Next, I'm going to pass the baton to Atul to show you much more features of MindStudio.
Shabnam, that was amazing. Just seeing you talk about those complex agents. It's like, hey, I need to talk to you. No, it's amazing. But, sky's the limit, like you said. Don't limit yourself. Don't think in the box. The possibility of what you can do as you invest and you tell your agent what to do with. And I think MindStudio is that one ecosystem where you don't need to be married to Gemini or have a ChatGPT or Perplexity or any other LLM models to do their way of doing things. You can kind of go with what you want and then see which one, cherry pick which one is giving you what you want, and then kind of mold and build on top of it. I was just quickly, before we jump into the segment, we were shadowing questions. Looks like most of the questions have been answered. If there are some that are not, there is a second session for Q&A. We'll pick it up there. Okay. Sweet. I will share my screen. So with this segment, let me just share my screen real quick. Where are we? Screen 2. All right. And I think where we left off is this. So we want to, for this one, Igor and myself, we're just going to pick out a few features, not limited to, but we feel like these are just those features that even to date, some of these gets me excited after using MindStudio for 6 months or so. So I'm going to tackle the few on the top. And then I'll just have Igor take care of the ones from the list remaining from the list. So the very first one is a profiler piece. It's a feature within MindStudio. I will move into that. Close this. Are you folks able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to pick any agent, doesn't matter what, to show these features. So Profiler, this one is near and dear to me. The day when I learned about it, even to a few hours before this event, and I'm sure it's in the future too, it just gets me excited. But basically, the profiler lets you compare multiple AI models, LLMs, side by side. So you can see which one is fastest, the result, which one is more accurate to your needs, to your likings, cost efficient, and then you can optimization part of it, how you can go about based on these time and cost and other things. What is that optimization piece that you're looking at? So let me show you how this one real quick works. The profiler is right here. Let's say, so once you're in your agent, once you go into the development portion of your agent, in the main flow, you will see these tabs on top. These are pretty standard across all. And then if you go next all the way here, it's called Profiler. If you click on it, by default, it's going to pull up this screen. And as you can see, there is Claude 4.5 Sonnet. It's already there. The other one is also same. So let us, why don't we do this? We use this one as, I want to do a reasoning one. I want to select the reasoning LLM. And in MindStudio, you can see that there are these tags with the LLMs that you can kind of choose. The reasoning for me is they're great in thinking, right? So let's see with our example for Profiler how it works. So let's select the one. I think if this is already selected, great. So we'll take a 3.7. In the next LLM, we want to compare with, which one should we take? Say ChatGPT. Let's try the 5. Is there reasoning? Yep. All right, perfect. Now there are 2. Let's say we want to increase it to a couple more. So we're going to go and select one more by clicking the new profile button here. And here, let's select Amazon. Let's try the fastest Nova Pro. And then let's add one more. We've got, we didn't get Gemini, so let's get Gemini. Let's go here. And why don't we go and select the latest? I heard so many things about 3. Looks like they already have 3.2 also there. But let's go with 3.2 reasoning. So pretty much we have majority of them as the reasoning, couple or 3 of them, and Noah seems to be the Amazon is the fastest. So we've got this, and what we're trying, our use case is that, hey, I want to go and run a prompt, and I want to see which LLM kind of gives me the most out of that prompt. And that could be whether context, the information you're looking for, time, it could be money, or, all those different criterias. We'll just inject a simple prompt here, a poem about cats. And the way you can execute after injecting the prompt is just hit your enter key on the keyboard. And as you can see, the minute you hit the enter, MindStudio is now splitting to all these LLMs and talking with them, and you're getting a live information of what the agent does behind the scene, right? As you can see, they all are done. If we look at Claude, we're looking at about 5 seconds, 5.1 seconds, and this is the information that Claude gave. Yes, the fastest. You can look at how many tokens were used, what that costed, what would that cost us. Similarly, ChatGPT-5 took double the time than Claude, but then the information that it gave, because we chose the reasoning LLM model. So as you can see, when MindStudio, the prompt went, how ChatGPT started working about it. That's that portion. So Profiler not only gives you the information in terms of, what it cost you, what time it took, here's what this prompt will generate for you, but as more sophisticated, newer LLM models are coming, whether they are just great for regular language, reasoning, thinking, whatnot, you can see how they are working behind the scene. So that's for ChatGPT-5, Amazon Noah, and then, did I select Gem? Oh, my bad. Anyway, so we didn't do Gemini, but I selected one. I meant to select Gemini. But yeah, so this is what the profiler feature is, and to date, I really love this feature, and you may be seeing some personal passion side of me trying to show about it, but that's a great feature. Always gets me excited. So that's the profiler piece. The second I have,
Atul, I just want to add one point to the profiler.
Yeah, please.
This is where you compare your agent runs and how effective and cost effective and time effective it is. Because sometimes in enterprise, when you are working in your organization, all these small numbers add up quickly. And this is where you compare and you choose the right model for yourself. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Next one I have is just kind of quickly glance through the MindStudio offerings, free offerings that are there through their portal. Just once you log in, you can see the section right below your workspace, ready to use. This is where all the live agents, prod agents are already there. They are free. So you can go through your liking, what use case you have, what you would like to learn. Basically, here is I think there were about 80 or 90 last I counted, and it keeps building up. So all these are free for different categories, different use cases. Let's say we pick one, LinkedIn connection crafter, or rather, let's say content, a LinkedIn post. So the way, if you were to, you want to use this, make a copy for yourself, you just go about it. It will give you a complete understanding of what it does. It talks about the agent, what the agent does. It gives you complete details of how it works. What does it mean to you? Where is it really helpful? Where does it optimize? Where does it save you? Whether time, effort, money, and then what model it's running against. And the way you can use this, either you can run free if you want to make a copy of it because you think that, oh, you know what, this is what I want. But there are some things I want to change about it. Make a copy. When you click on that, it's just going to go into, it made a copy instantly for me. And the way you can access the copy is it's going to be under your draft. So this is the one that we copied. You can go into the edit mode. You can see in the main flow what it does, how it does, the A to Z of it. Once you publish it, it will go back into your created by me, and it will be live for you depending on how customize, what you want to customize, what you want to change. Similarly, templates or other way where you like something, it's a foundation for you already there, and I think they have tagged some are free. So if it is related to image generation or video generation, they all are categorized in different categories depending on what interests you. You can look at that template and then you can kind of get an idea. This one, they even tell you what it's going to cost you when you're running it, what model is being used, and what it does. So you can make a copy, you can build on top of it. So I think upfront, there's so much information that the element of surprise reduces when you're actually executing and you are actually seeing, okay, what did this cost me or my organization? So yeah, these are some other features we just want to kind of share. And then there's one more before I pass it on to Igor, is enhanced prompt, right? So we've seen that, when we were doing the demo for agents, we copy pasted some prompts for you. And sometimes you want to see that, okay, I don't know if I have exact, language and context in my prompt, and I need help in creating that prompt. So that's where one of these features comes into picture. It's called enhanced prompt feature. And the way you go about it is that I'm just going to pick another agent, one of the agents I have already. And then I'm going to go into my main flow, select the block where I have my prompt. With this, I'm going to go into an edit in full screen. This is one way to access it, not necessarily the way to access it. And then here is what my prompt is, right? And let's say that I want to go and generate a new prompt. So we have the generate button here. In this generate button, you can mention, for example, let's say, please create a prompt that would list the top 5 most watched professional sports in US, along with some stats and future growth trajectory. I think my spelling should be okay here. All right. So I want a proper prompt created for something that I have in my mind, but I can't really put my fingers on. So I've mentioned that. I'm going to hit generate. It will take some time on the bottom right if you're seeing my screen. So MindStudio, this feature, it's going through its logic, its process, it's taking the inputs I gave, and it's going to spit out the result. Hopefully we'll show soon. There it is. So this is a pretty huge prompt, but definitely this one is like my prompt was, hey, I want to know what are these top 5, most watched professional sports in United States, and this is what the prompt had created. So it's giving me a breakdown of, hey, what's the current market position. So basically what this did for me is that I can use this into my agent, depending on what that use case my agent is, and instruct my agent to provide me the information or work on providing me this information based on the prompt. Not necessarily it has to be this big. So for any reason you feel like, oh, this is not what I really had in my mind, that's too much, and you've really gone into too much detail, you could either click on the enhance and it will just go and look for that next version by itself. And I just clicked it while talking about it. Or you could go and generate another one, and this time around in your prompt description, you could be more specific that keep it limited to 2 paragraphs, or keep it limited to a paragraph and some bullet point. So when I did that enhance, it took its time. Now it's giving me breakdown between 2 and what the differences are. So this was my first generated prompt. And I was like, oh, you know what, that's too much details. Here's my second one. And it highlights, it compares and highlights the difference in the prompting as well. So yeah, these were some, I feel I still get excited using these things, and not just for that particular agent. Even at times when I'm using another LLM outside of MindStudio, I always piggyback on these things as a quick way or as an in-depth way to kind of talk to the AI model and get what I want. So yeah, very useful features here. I may have taken a lot of time here. Igor, on to you.
Okay, well, that was great introduction in some of the features, and we're just talking about the tip of the iceberg. Those are the some of the few features, but important features that you can actually use in MindStudio to help yourself develop the agents. And I'm going to go over 3 other features that are actually making your life more efficient and while developing those agents and give you a lot more flexibility. So let me share my screen. Okay. Now, the 3 other items that I would like to cover are block versus system prompt, debugging, and how to choose between different models. So let's say, let's go with the block versus system prompt. When you were looking at me creating those directions right here, that was the direction that was for this specific block. Now, you might say, that's not too many directions. Okay, that's fair. So what if you would like to, just like if you, let's say, use ChatGPT, and you want to give it generic instructions that would not change regardless of your task or regardless of a specific task. You want to give it generic instructions, say, for like this task or the next task. Keep in mind the generic instructions. Don't ask me to repeat that. What if you want to give the generic instruction to, I would say not generic, but general instruction to the agent to say, no matter how many blocks you have, unless you override that in the block, keep in mind those general instructions. That's what we have system prompt. What the system prompt is saying, this is what the agent is about. This is what you're going to do. And this is general instructions, no matter of the blocks. So what it says is, let me just make sure it's larger. Roles and expertise, assistant position to an expert recipe analysis within science. And so it actually tells it, gives it a context. It tells it, be in that role. Okay, then it says what you're going to do. You're going to extract the recipe informations and so forth. You can put as many things here or as a few things, but this is where you kind of optimize your instructions. And then it tells it how it wants to standardize the data. The quality control. So basically trying to make sure it doesn't hallucinate as much, or it's checking its own output as it produces it. And then how it must have its output requirements handled. And of course, error handling. What to do if there's a problem. Just like Atul showed you, you could either enhance this prompt, generate this prompt, or do some kind of a hybrid. But this is what the general prompt lists. And if I go to a block, I can override that. I can specify specific instructions. But if I don't, or if I provide a specific instruction for a part of the system prompt, everything else that is not overridden stays. Now, going on to the next part is how do we choose multiple models for the blocks? So just a tool demonstrated to you, we have just number of models to choose from. And let's say you decided I would like to use a specific model for this extract recipe step. What if this was, let's say, produce a video or something like that, and you're like, oh, I want to use Nana Banana or something like this, or Veo. Over here, see model settings. Let me show you first. this model settings, this is model settings for the entire agent, Gemma. But okay, not a problem. You go to the block and you say, I want to use Claude. And you choose Claude. How do you know what to choose? Okay, you can read these things. You basically, some of those are actually telling you what it is. It says a reasoning model, multimodal model. So it has like video generation, text generation, etc. But then you can also look at this. How many? What's the cost? The cost says $3 per million tokens. So without going into the details, basically like a token is like half a word or word, and it says when you're prompting the model, when you're giving it instructions, this is how much it would cost per million of tokens to process your prompt. This is how much it would cost per millions of tokens to produce a response to you. And this is your context window, meaning how much information per one time, per one call, this model will crunch through to be able to give you what you want. You can actually reach out to different, third-party tools, get more information from it, but it's all like how much information does it deal with, including response and response and prompt at one time, be that text or like visual information. So if you want to choose something, you choose it here, and then over here it becomes a different model, and then you can choose a different model for another block or another block, however many. If you think that that model is more specifically focused on what you want to do in that block, like I mentioned, like audio or video or anything, like if you think that you need the model to process a lot of information for your large research paper, to output big report, and some model has a large context window, then you need to use that one. Okay, the last one is debugging. That's what makes your life easier and cheaper. So now let me show you something. Imagine that, let's say you ran this a couple of times, and maybe this block uses an expensive model. And you know that the next block, like this display content, for example, is basically causing some kind of problems for you. You don't want to rerun this all the time and call the model again and again and pay more money to be able to run the model, because that step works. This specific step works. So basically what you can do is a couple of things here. You can right click and say debugger, and you say add breakpoint before or after. What that means is if you run it in either draft mode or debug mode, then it will stop at this very point before it proceeds. So you can then basically examine the variables. For example, this is the trace debugger, and imagine it stopped right here and it didn't go any further. And you want to be able to examine, at this point of time, what are my variables values and what do I have in the output, or what do I have in an input? So you're like, oh, I would like to examine. So that's basically a breakpoint. Now, another thing is, what happens if, and you can, like I said, you can do it before or after. Maybe you've already processed the step and you want to do something like, oh, what's the variable value? What does the model output in this case? Another thing you can do is you configure mock data. So yes, like I said, if you already know that this step gives you a great value output, maybe you're processing the image, you can configure mock data. What it means is, it says, okay, from the last, let me move this. I don't know how to move this thing. Okay, yeah. So the last time that it ran, so all these are different runs. The last time that it ran, I had a good data for the step that we received. I'm okay with this step. Click on the Save button, and basically this marks that as a mock data. When it hits this step, it's not going to call that model. It's not going to execute the instructions. It's going to take the last available good run data and basically put that into the output to feed it to the next step. So this is how you save time. This is how you save money. And then you can just say, I'm done with this, clear mock data. So as you see, these are just a couple of things that really make your development life easier. And so with this, I'm going to I'm going to give the next turn to the next presenter.
Shobna.
Okay, that's me. I'm gonna share my screen again. Thank you, Igor and Atul for all the deep dive on MindStudio at a glance, which is there's much more to learn. This is just going to give we just wanted to pique all of your interest and show you what you can do with one tool, that is MindStudio. The next is a Q&A section, but keeping in mind the time, I'm going to come back to Q&A quickly before I don't want to miss out on covering what's next. Okay, so what's next from here? We have put together a quick digital handbook for you all to just follow along and build your own agents. We have given step-by-step instructions for 3 agents. Try it on your own. I think this is very interesting. And then share your feedback, tag us, and share on LinkedIn. And you can also connect with 3 of us on LinkedIn as well and ping us. We are very active on the social media. We will definitely get back to you all. That is one next step. Next thing that I wanted to say is MindStudio also provides certification program from level 1 to level 3. We 3 are level 3 certified agent builders. That is also a very hands-on, very effective training. If you guys wish for continuing that, reach out to us if you want discount codes. We have some discount codes in our sleeves. Next, we would be sharing, please share your feedback on our Google form. We have a surprise for you all. We are sharing the LinkedIn Enrich agent as soon as you submit the feedback. So that's our way of giving you all a thank you. And advanced training is like we will be hosting more trainings in coming next year, just that we don't have the dates finalized. We will reach out to all of you via email if you give your consent on the feedback form. There are plenty of MindStudio resources. We will be sharing them on the follow-up email post the session. And stay connected on LinkedIn. Let me jump back to Q&A. For any of you have any questions, I can see Prasanna had raised a question, raised his hand. I'm going to stop share. Let's just get to questions. Prasanna, you want to go and start asking?
Yeah, thank you. A question for Igor. Igor, the demo that you showed in the last piece, where you had your block as a read only, whereby it doesn't execute, it just gives the output of that automatically the next step. Right? What is the shelf life of the underlying data? Does it mean I mean that I close the agent is gone, or the underlying data will still be there till the time I don't unblock it or unlock it?
It's there until the next run. So basically, you can close the agent and you come back and it remembers that data. But if you run it, if you uncheck it, and if you go back to like the live mode without the debugging, then the next run, the next successful run, you can actually use that data again. But you saw that basically I have different runs there. You can pick whatever debug data you can use from whichever successful run in the past was. So if you say maybe you are running like this against different recipes. One of them is turkey, one of them is chicken, whatever, and you say, okay, something's bad is happening on my chicken recipe, but the turkey recipe was fine and the data came through, and you want to debug the next step after maybe like the processing step. Then you do that and you set the data to the mock data, and that data lives there until you uncheck it. So the short answer is it remembers, yes.
So that leads to my second question, if I may please. So in this case, the inference cost is the execution cost end to end, or it also includes the storage cost?
Which storage are you talking about?
Because I have, let's say I've executed my agent for 5 times, all of them were successful. So basically I have 5 inference or 5 instances of the data what I created, right? The one I'm talking about specifically for the block that you marked as read only. So now I have 5 instances of 5 inferences. So now I'm executing for the 6th time. It will only charge me for the block, that is the 3rd block in your case, which got executed, which got the data from the 2nd block. Now here,
yeah, it won't charge. Yeah, go ahead.
What is the execution run cost? Is it the storage cost of the historical ones plus the new execution, or just the new execution?
It will charge you for the new execution wherever these blocks are not marked as mock data. So
Gotcha.
if you have 5 blocks and 4 of them are set up to the mock data, it will charge you for 1 for that the new execution, because it's not going to call out the model. It's basically going to feed that stored value to the next step.
Okay. So the previous inferences or the instances, it has already charged me. So now it will not charge me.
Right.
Okay. Because the storage is only for the historical ones. Gotcha. Thank you. That helps.
I want to add something here. So inference cost is the LLM's run cost. So if each block technically has an LLM tied to it, then you would be paying for that cost. So the total cost of the workflow is the sum of each of these blocks. But sometimes there are blocks which is called run JavaScript. That does not have an LLM. It is just running a JavaScript code that you have written. There's no cost associated to it.
Correct.
Another thing is, any image or video that is generated, it is hosted on MindStudio server. You're not paying for the cost of the storage as well. So there is no cost on storage. As long as you have the URL, you can always access those resources at any time. You can see them in your history to go back to those resources like videos and images. You don't want to keep running them because videos and all will definitely cost more compared to just running normal text.
So that's exactly what my worry was. It's like, does my inference cost account for the storage, or does
No, it
not
doesn't.
account?
I have checked with MindStudio team personally. They don't charge us for hosting, storing these kind of images. And even there is a concept of global variable. Global variable is you can keep building it as much as you want. And, irrespective, especially when you have a daily newsletter agent that is building over data that is previously collected or scraped. So it can grow as big as you want. There is no cost on it.
Thank you. Yeah, this helps. Thank you so much.
All right. Any other questions, folks? Okay, I personally want to thank all the MindStudio alumni who have showed up today for our support. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your time, and feel free to just ping us on Slack and let us know how we actually did it. This is our first one.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. You gave us a boost. And thank you all for joining. We really appreciate it. I know different time zones.
Thank you for staying.
Yes. Yeah. We'll be in touch. There will be post-event email. Will contain some of the digital links for other things, as well as how to stay connected, and some other information.
And the video recording, right?
Correct.
Yes, if you have any questions, contact us.
Yeah. If you get a chance, please submit the feedback form. That will be very helpful to us as well.
It will be included in the email as well. So.
Yeah.
And Igor has shared it in the chat as well.
I did, yeah.
Well, we are 158-minute mark. If there's nothing, we can give 2 minutes back or 1 minute counting.
Very effective, yes, and efficient. Yeah.
All right. Have a blessed holidays, everyone. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you.